All right, so listen, if you've ever felt like you've done all the things, the posting, the editing, the praying to the algorithm god, but yet you're still not seeing results, then this video is about to bless your entire content ministry. Because what I'm about to break down is the exact strategy and game plan that I use to build my personal brand without a website, without any ads, or without selling my soul to trends that don't even convert. I'm literally giving you the playbook that took me from
Who's this guy?
Who is this guy?
Who the hell is this?
Who the hell is this?
to 5-figure months on repeat, organic, no gimmicks, just strategy, psychology, and content that actually moves people to click. So if you're building a personal brand, but you're tired of creating content that gets posted but not seen, then stay tuned and lock in, because by the end of this, you're either gonna be richer or smarter, preferably both. So let's get to it. All right, so let's talk about hook points. We all know how important the hook is. I have listed a bunch of different hooks for you guys as samples that you can use, but I do want to give you my 10-part framework or structure that I use to qualify and create my hooks, right? Number 1, short and simple. Every time you write, see if you can say it with less words without losing its meaning. Make it as easy to understand as possible. Number 2, make it feel personal. Try to use the word you. Try to make your tone conversational, like you're speaking to a relative or a friend. You want to be creating with a one-to-one framework, right? Make it very singular and personal. Number 3, try to have some shock value. This could be your volume, like you could start with a whisper, right? This could be the tone or the words. Sometimes I cuss, I can't help it, that's just who I am, and I'll leave that stuff in there. Or it could be, the actual visual hook that you use. But try to have some sort of a shock value there. Something that is surprising a bit. Try to open curiosity, all right? Ask a question. It might be rhetorical, maybe only you know the answer, right? Perfect example of this was, who the F did I marry? We don't know, but now I'm curious, right? That's a great hook. Make a promise. Tell people what they can expect from watching this or engaging with this piece of content, what they'll get out of this, right? For me, it might look like this is gonna put you ahead of everybody creating content. Boom, that's a hook that makes a promise, right? Assume the audience's intelligence. Right? The reason why you want to do this is because if they don't know something or they are unaware, this is 2 parts. Number 1, they're either going to ask, right? And that gets you more engagement. Or number 2, you know that they are not qualified to actually use your services, right? A lot of people think that we're trying to create hooks that only get attention. You're also trying to do hooks that create affinity. And so you need to make sure that you're creating a fence around your audience. And you might want to say some things that only this group of people understand and know, right? And so you want to assume the audience's intelligence, right? Or you could just say something that has an assumptive tone. For me, sometimes I'm like, now I'm sure you know, right? And then I still might insert this thing. But I'm assuming your intelligence by saying that. Next up, spark controversy, right? Say something that's controversial. Say something that is like, look, I don't know what's going on with the Democrats or the Republicans, but, right? Controversy, right there, boom. I don't know why black people is all like this, but, only say that if you're black, by the way. But these are things that are going to be controversial and it's going to be a great hook, all right? Offer novelty, right? That just means something new, right? And for me, it looks like, I was today years old when I learned this, right? It's a great piece of novelty. Start a story, all right? Hey, you might want to go grab a drink. I'm about to tell you something. It's crazy how these hairdressers in Atlanta got these rules. Let me tell you what happened to me. Not that I got that much hair, but I'm just saying, that's recently one that I saw. Tell people what's coming, right? Give them a reason to hold on, right? Maybe you show them something and you're like, this will make sense by the time that I finish, right? Or if you're starting a story, right? I have one that says like, I accidentally stole Rick Ross's glasses, right? And then I go through the story. So you know that by the end of this, you'll understand what happened, how I got there, and how I got the glasses. Having a good hook is crucial for attention, but payoff statements are crucial for retention. A payoff statement is a summary of what the viewer will receive in exchange for paying attention. This is another part of that tell them what's coming, but the payoff statement is pretty much just written on screen. It's a little bit different from a hook because a hook grabs attention, but the payoff statement makes a specific promise. Yes, a hook can make a promise as well, but the payoff statement might make a separate promise. The payoff statement that's written on screen might say, steal my strategy for sales calls, but my hook might be like, let me show you how I close a $10,000 client. The payoff is saying by the end of this, you'll have a full strategy. What I'm saying verbally is like, here's a story about me closing a $10,000 client. Make it big, make it bold, make it easy to read, and not too overwhelming with animations. Now, pro tip, this is what I use for the covers on my videos. Because when people find me and they come to my page, I want you to be able to know what you'll get out of watching each one of these videos. The other pro tip is learn how to use power words. I'm going to put a list of power words in here for you guys to use. And basically, it's just going to help the statement land better with the audience. So something like 3 basic techniques. When you implement power words, it becomes 3 essential techniques. Basic and essential are 2 different things. Not everybody wants basic, but if it's essential, that means it's something that I must know. All right, so if I say copywriting explained versus copywriting breakdown. If you're explaining it to me, it sounds like you're just lecturing me. But if it's a breakdown, it sounds like there's visual components there that I can just take what I need. If I say get more views now versus get more views immediately, that sounds like as soon as I take action, I'm gonna get more views. These are just some examples of power words. Now, let's talk more about content structure, because all of your content should target as many of the 7 human needs as possible. And you also want to utilize these to create good hooks. When you're targeting some of the 7 human needs, this is also a really effective way to make good hooks. But you definitely want to do this in your content. But here's the 7 human needs. People need to be right. They need a scapegoat. They need to feel heard. They need to feel in control. They need to know some secrets and be included. They need to feel a sense of hope. So a hook might just be like, you were right. The algorithm hates you. But here's how you change that. That's going to be both. I'm going to give you a scapegoat too. That's the scapegoat is the algorithm. To feel heard. You guys keep asking me to make this type of content, so here it is. I heard what you wanted and I delivered. To feel needed. I just had this win, but I couldn't have done it without you. To feel in control. Hey, if you guys want more of this, do this thing and you'll get it. You're in control, not me. If you want more, then I'll make this. To know secrets. Top 5 secrets that people don't want you to know about making content. Top 5 things they don't want you to know about the algorithm. And they want to be included. Put them in something. In your tribe and whatever. And then of course, to feel a sense of hope. I know it's hard to make content nowadays because everybody's out there doing this. But let me show you how you can still resonate. All right, so listen, if you're serious about having success on social media and you want to skip all the trial and error parts, then I have something for you. It's a community I created. It's completely free. It's called the Success on Social Club, or the SOS Club. Basically, it's where I drop all of my strategies, my behind the scenes stuff. I answer a lot of personal questions. It's all the stuff that you can get from me, but you won't find anywhere else. There's no fluff. There's no recycled advice. It's just real moves that actually work. And like I said, it's free. You literally get access to me, all of my resources, my templates, etc. And so if you're ready to level up your game and have some success on social media, then just hit the link that's in the description and you can actually join the SOS Club for free. So let's get it. Now that we spoke about structure, let's talk about platform. Because in order for us to get in front of the right people without running any ads, we need to know how the platform is going to work for us to do that. So I would just want to go really briefly on some platform mechanics. Let's talk about the algorithm versus distribution. The algorithm is based on what people want to see. Distribution is what decides what gets shown to people. Your distribution is determined by your content ranking, how well it ranks in comparison to what else is out there. Right now, in order for it to rank, it's all about how often it's getting sent to people. If If you want people to send your content, you need to be creating content with the micro emotions involved. People need to be LOL, OMG, WTF, YAS. These are the emotions that people should feel in order for them to want to send something. So every single individual on these platforms, specifically we're talking about Instagram, has their own algorithm. Your job is to land inside of that using strategic content methods. And that's going to be using the captions on screen, creating with SEO in your written captions. So knowing what people are searching for and then putting that in your written captions, and then using hashtags can help. But that's no more than 5 because you want to keep them consistent. Don't continue to switch hashtags and don't put any more than 5. I specifically do not use any hashtags. I never really do. I'm not going to say that I never will. I do sometimes for clients if we're trying to grow. That's just something that I know for them to help them rank higher and to get a better social grade. Speaking of which, the second thing you want to do is you want to go to socialblade.com. Get your grade, not just to see your score, but it'll tell you where you rank at as well. You can just type in, it's free, you can just type in your user handle. I will say this, it's not extremely accurate in terms of what the platform ranks you at, because I believe their algorithm and their ranking system is a bit old, but it does help you get a bird's eye view, especially if you type in your competitors and you see where they are, right? Then you kind of know, okay, I got to start creating content that's more in line with this because their ranking is better than mine. Next up, this is something that I've spoken about before. I still have no confirmation on it, but I do want to mention it, is dwell time for engagement. Dwell time is the amount of time that people spend on a post without touching the screen, right? This is where people slow down to see your post, and then they're deciding whether or not they're going to give their attention to you. Quote posts are low cognitive load, meaning they don't take a lot of effort for the viewer, and they're typically willing to give you more of their attention. So for me, I'm doubling on my amount of quote posts that I'm doing, and I'm adding music to every last one of them. All right, we'll talk about why in a second. But again, dwell time, this is something that was very, very prevalent back in the day for Facebook and things of that nature. And it came back when Meta bought Instagram. They implemented it into the algorithm. Then it's now resurfaced heavily for LinkedIn. Again, I can't get a confirmation. I don't have access to like the code and whatnot, but I speak to a lot of developers and a lot of people in my industry, and we do some tests and we try to figure some things out, but the algorithm is pretty much sentient. It does what it wants. I don't even know if Meta knows. Again, currently sends, not just shares, but sends are the biggest metric in terms of distribution. Specifically sends per reach, meaning the first few people who see it, how soon are they sending it? Not just sharing it to their feed, but sending it. That's a very big metric. Because I had a quote post that got 30, 40, 50 shares to the public timeline, but nobody sent it to somebody specifically. And so when you look at shares, it says 0. So they're talking specifically about sends, all right? Another hack, use polls on Reels. Polls are the things that you allow people to answer a question, to take a vote. The platform right now is prioritizing community. So give people a reason to commune in the comment section by using polls, asking questions, things of that nature. Let people vote. This is all going to help with the platform ranking your content for distribution. All right? Let's talk about posting times. There's no optimal time to post. It's really based on your audience. However, majority of the shares or sends, they tend to happen later in the evening for multiple reasons. People are not at work, so the pressure of not being on your phone is less. If you're at work and you got a work friend, you might not want to send them something right now because everybody knows you're not supposed to be on your phone, and I'm not going to get you in trouble. Somebody might be looking over your shoulder, whatever the case may be. But the other reason too is when you're at home, especially if you're like a single parent, you might be seeking some adult connection, right, of some kind. And so having something to send to someone specifically is a great bridge. Next up, IG Lives, very effective strategy in terms of talking about your services. It's basically a webinar. And here's some of the things that you definitely want to do. You want to schedule it so that the platform knows that it has content coming up. It knows that you're going to be doing something. It's also going to do a better job to send it to people, and it's going to help it rank for distribution. So you want to create a post that schedules and talks about a specific IG live that's coming up. Make a post that teases it. Secondly, when you get on live, announce people as they come in so that they feel seen. Remember the 7 features that every human being wants. They want to feel seen. If you can, try to have a mediator, right, in there if it gets heavy or whatever the case may be, somebody who can address all the comments and all that stuff. Make a lesson plan. Make an outline of the things that you want to hit and speak about, but just an outline, because it's alive. You want to be interactive. You want to be speaking to people. Ask for people to engage if they understand. Yo, put this in the chat if you get what I'm saying. Put that in the chat if you get what I'm saying. It's going to help people feel more engaged and stick around longer. Speaking of sticking around longer, you can offer something at the end, like a raffle, right? Hey, at the end of this thing, I'm going to give you guys a free one. I'm going to give somebody a free one-on-one call to address their content, right? Only if you stick to the end to see if your name's been won. You got to still be here. Now let's talk about audio. You want to put audio on your carousels and all your quote posts because they have the ability to be seen in the Reels feed now. When you're scrolling through Reels, carousels will start to be there if they have audio attached. When you're making a Reel, try to use some background audio to elevate retention. That will tend to help people stick around a little bit longer. Prioritize your audio. Your audio is more important than the visual. So make sure that when you are speaking, it is clear. Trending audios can work if you're using like the carousels and stuff, but there's a caveat. It works better when you're setting a trend, not when you're following one. Because if I've heard a song 40,000 times, I don't want to hear it again. Make the audio intentional. To be honest with you, this is one of the things that you should actually be doing first, is choosing the audio, because it'll help you set the pace and the tone of the video when you're speaking, right? So if you know that you're going to be speaking very fast, you want to have some audio that's going to accompany that. The professional way to do it is to choose your audio first. I cannot say that I do that all the time, but I do have buckets of audio. I did just go and just find a bunch of different audio things, and I just got buckets so I can kind of like pick from there. Now let's talk about stories and close friends, right? Stories, when you want to, before you're going to sell something and advertise something or offer something, let your story reset for 48 to 72 hours. Take that time off. You will see a huge jump in the amount of people, the reach that gets to it. Close friends. Add your Fred to your close friends. Then use the close friends to sell when there's a discount. This is how you raise the amount of people that see your offer, because that green bubble stands out. All right, very cheeky hack. I'm going to talk about my batch creation method. You guys may have seen this post. This really just takes me a few hours per day on whatever the task at hand is. Day one is ideation. It's typically on a Sunday. I'm searching, I'm reading, I'm discovering, I'm actually scrolling as well. I'm trying to find videos to react to. I'm trying to find things I like, new hooks, whatever the case may be. Just really ideating. I might write and jot some things down. I'm talking about like, okay, I want to make some content about this, whatever the case may be. Day two is the initial draft. This is where I start writing the content and figure out what it's going to look like. Here's the key with that. I write without any judgment or any edits. I just let it flow. I just type it, like everything that I want to be in there. I just type it, right? Day three, I'm writing hooks and headlines. That's it. That's all I'm focused on. That's all I'm focused on is hooks and headlines. Day four, I'm putting it together and I'm figuring out what I want to happen, how I want this to resonate. What are the emotions that I want to happen? What action do I want the audience to take? I'm putting it all together because now I have the rough draft plus the hook. And now I'm structuring everything to make it as impactful as possible. This is also where I tend to choose like any visual elements that I want to put in the video. I don't grab them all then, but I just kind of write them down. So when I make a script for something, I have another note inside of that that says visuals. These are things that I need to get to add. Day five, I'm recording everything, batch recording. This is easy. This is the easiest way to do it because if you just got your hair cut, just got your hair done, just make everything right then and there. And in day six, I'm editing and scheduling. right? And that's pretty much a long day, really, because editing can take a while. But scheduling is really easy. Now, you can spend as much time as you want on each of these. You can spend more time, but I try to spend 2 hours per day typically. And you can even bundle some of them if you want to, if you're like in a mood. Trust me, this happens with me all the time. Here's my suggestion though. Get a timer, put your phone on focus mode. I keep a timer on my desk that gives me like, hey, this is what I'm gonna be working on at this amount of time. Put your phone on focus mode. Distractions will kill the flow. They will kill the flow. That's one of the biggest issues that most people have when it comes to creating content is you just ain't concentrating hard enough because there's so many distractions. Put your phone on do not disturb. It's an hour, it's 2 hours. You'd be surprised how few people hit you up in that time. When I first started doing this, I was like, let me put this person and this person and this person just in case they want to call and just in case. Nobody calls. The amount of times that I've had my phone on do not disturb and people have been like, yo, I haven't been able to get, it's probably like once, twice. I promise you, it's so crazy. But you need to work on that task for the allotted time. You need a very serious focus. If you are going to bundle the things that you're doing, take a break before you work on the next task. 15 minutes, walk outside, go for a walk, play with the pet, visit a dog, do whatever. Try to do something that's not going to distract you and change your mind frame, but definitely go for a walk or something. It helps just to refresh your brain. Here's another hack that I'm actually doing, I'm starting now. If you cannot finish something, finish in the middle of the sentence. Apparently, this does very well for your brain to ideate. Haven't started it, something that a mentor of mine gave me. So I'm going to start to work on that and see how it works, but I'm going to give it to you guys now. As a bonus, you guys are going to also have access to my repurpose framework video. This is how I never run out of content. This is how I repurpose good content for my clients. If they've done something that worked, this is how I repurpose it. This is how I repurpose my own content. I have some content that did okay, and then I did it again, and it did 10 times better. This is the exact framework that I use, so you guys as a bonus will have access to that. All right?